Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash. Guess what? I have another Choosing Beggar Reddit video for you. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and click on notifications so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story, a choosing beggar is given a free cat, but then demands the cat's papers, since she wants to get what she paid for. Let's jump right in. Okay, so this happened a couple of months ago, but I'm still a little peeved about it. I had wanted a Persian cat for years and had finally bought one from a woman who had two Persians. She put off getting the male fixed, and the two ended up bumping fluffy butts. The male is now fixed after that little episode. The fluffy little thing cost me $600, but I was so happy with her. A Persian is probably one of the funniest cats you can get that have a flat face. Because of this, it does require cleaning around the eyes and a certain food diet. I named mine Izzy, and she was one of the best cats I've ever had. She loved playing with the laser light and sliding across the tiled floor. But when my mom's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease got worse and she was admitted into the hospital, the doctor informed me that I had to get rid of any pets that produced dander, as that would make it difficult on my mother's breathing. I had Izzy for over a year at this point and was very attached to her. I'd considered trying to make her an outdoor cat as I hadn't declawed her, but I live in an area where it gets extremely hot outside. That poor girl wouldn't have lasted in the summer heat with her long coat of hair. In the end, I decided I'd post a picture of her and put her up for sale, asking for $200. I didn't want to list her as too expensive because I needed her gone fast, but I also didn't want to list her for free and end up giving her to someone who would like her for a week and end up being bored with her. And that's mostly what I got. People wanting Izzy for their kids that were between the ages of 5 to 12. I didn't want her to be a pet for a kid because of how much maintenance goes into caring for a long-haired Persian. Daily brushing, weekly, bi-weekly baths, face cleaning, etc. Eventually, an older woman contacted me giving me a sob story about her Persian that had recently died from liver disease. That should have been a red flag, but I fell for it. She told me that she'd have to talk to her husband about paying that much for a cat, and I told her that if her husband would say yes, I'd just give her Izzy because I really needed her to have a home soon so I could work on steam cleaning the house before my mom got out of the hospital. I explained in detail how long it was going to take me to clean the entire house to rid it of dander. I had planned on steaming the floors, cleaning the walls and all the furniture, and using the carpet shampooer on the furniture and carpeted rooms. The woman even remarked on how long that was going to take me, since our house is 2 stories tall. During this time, I was staying with my mother at the hospital, only leaving her side when I had to, which was when I needed to go to college classes or leave to clean the house. Any other time, I was right there with her. I spent so many nights sleeping in that uncomfortable chair that turns into a makeshift bed. I also explained all this to the woman. Before my dad even dropped Izzy off, the older woman was calling me asking if Izzy had papers. I told her I had gotten her shot records when I bought her, and my dad would bring those with him when he dropped Izzy off, but she informed me she wanted her other papers, the ones proving that Izzy was a Persian. I would have understood the need for this if I had made her pay a lot of money for this cat, or even if Izzy didn't look like the breed I was saying she was. But it's kind of hard to fake being a Persian, since their main trait is their giant eyes and flat face. Izzy had both. The cat's eyes were about the size of corners, and her face was flat as a pancake. I told her that I might have them somewhere, but I'd have to look for them. I could probably find them while I was cleaning the house, but in all honesty, I couldn't remember if I had gotten such papers. I knew that I had a shot record for things like feline leukemia, but as far as some sort of registration, I wasn't sure. I hadn't bought Izzy from a breeder, but I had met the 2 parent cats, and they both seemed like Persians to me. I mainly said this to remind her of all the work I needed to get done before my mom was released from the hospital. I got 3 more calls from her before my dad gave her Izzy, and she stopped calling. Until the next day, where she proceeded to call me for 3 days straight. I asked her if she thought maybe Izzy wasn't a Persian, and she responded with, "Oh no, I just want to make sure I'm getting what I paid for." I wanted to remind her that she didn't pay. I had given Izzy to her for free because I needed to have a good home quickly. I told her I would look while I was cleaning. She kind of started getting an attitude with me, saying things like, "Well, can't you look right now? It won't take but 5 minutes. I'm just wanting her papers is all. She's a beautiful cat. I just want proof she is what you say she is." Explained to her that I was at the hospital currently with my mother, that I couldn't look right now, and again, I wasn't sure if I had gotten any papers like that with Izzy because I hadn't got her from a breeder, just a woman who had 2 Persians who had kittens. On the 3rd day, when I planned to go home and start cleaning, she called 5 times in the span of an hour and 30 minutes. She started in again with how she just wanted what she paid for, and at this point, I was getting a little heated, stating that, "I understand you want her papers, I understand the reasoning for it, but like I said, I haven't been home and I have a lot I need to get done. When I am able, I will call you about the papers when I find them. But the cat I gave you was for free. In all honesty, you've gotten more than what you paid for, as I originally paid $600 for her, and you gave me nothing. I have a lot I need to do, and I really don't want to waste the little time I have trying to find papers I may not have." She didn't say much, and after I hung up, she never called me back. I never found the papers. As I suspected, I had only gotten Izzy's shot record and not anything registering her as a Persian. I didn't bother to call the woman back to inform her of this. I had too much on my plate to worry about at the time. Again, if she had paid for Izzy, even if it was just $1, I would have understood her wanting papers proving she got what she paid for. I wouldn't go to Walmart and pay $1 for a chocolate bar only to get a caramel instead. But there was nothing misleading about Izzy to make her believe she wasn't a Persian. I sent her pictures of her beforehand and even waived the money so she could have her. Heck, even then, I could still understand her wanting the papers, but I had explained to her from the beginning I didn't know if I had them and that I was in a rush to get so much stuff done. Just in case you're wondering, Izzy was fixed, so I doubt the woman was using her to breed, but then again, she didn't ask me whether or not Izzy had been neutered. I got to talking to my brother about it, and he said she probably wanted the papers so she could resell Izzy at a higher price, as animals are worth more if you can prove their breed. I really hope that's not the case, and that Izzy wasn't being bounced from house to house. In story 2, we have a choosing beggar couple who need to live off their parents, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't have the perfect bulletproof coffee each morning. So I'm a longtime lurker here, but I never really thought I'd have a good opportunity to post about a choosing beggar. Obviously, due to the current pandemic, a lot of people are struggling and out of work. My brother and his wife both lost their jobs due to the pandemic, and because they were previously contracted to work outside of the US, they're not eligible for unemployment. I'll call them brother and sister-in-law. They lived in corporate housing in Japan that came with my brother's job, so not only are they out of work, but they're suddenly homeless. Crappy situation for sure, but not really in anyone's control. My parents offer to let them stay rent-free until things calm down and they can find work, and they quickly fly home to the US. This is when my parents find out that they have no money, nothing in savings despite both making 6 figures in Japan, just a little bit of cash from their last paychecks. Apparently, they'd been living like high rollers, spending their money on expensive crap as fast as they made it. Here's where it gets really ridiculous. Both my parents are in their 60s and getting ready to retire, so they're trying to save everything they can to be in a good position when they stop working. My brother and sister-in-law both still have multiple bills each month, such as credit card payments and cell phones, and now my parents are loaning them money to pay their bills, as well as paying for all their food, etc. It's now been a few weeks into this, and brother and sister-in-law decided they want to start drinking bulletproof coffee in the morning. For those not familiar, it's basically a high-calorie meal replacement coffee made with butter and other oils. The trouble here is that Bulletproof is a trademarked brand that sells their own oils and clarified butter ghee with the usual ridiculous markup that overhyped fitness trends tend to come with. It's also worth mentioning that there are about 8.3 million fitness blogs with much cheaper dupe recipes. So my mom, trying to be supportive, takes the time to make them fresh, homemade clarified butter to use in their coffee each day for the price of regular store-bought butter. However, my sister-in-law refuses to use it because it isn't grass-fed butter. My mom calls me in tears because brother and sister-in-law are accusing her of judging their life by insisting on buying them cheap food and suggesting that they get a job at a delivery company if they want special groceries. I tell her to put me on speaker and proceed to chew them out and explain that beggars can't be choosers. My sister-in-law then takes the opportunity to start ragging on my customer service job and saying that she and my brother are worth so much more than me, etc. So I, of course, am done with it and point out that while I might have a low-wage customer service job, I don't live at home with my mom. I am paying all my own bills and I have money in the bank. Good Lord, my brother and I were raised exactly the same. I have no idea what happened to make him such a choosing beggar. In our final story, we have a choosing beggar who has very strict requirements for what free means. I did English literature for a few months in year 12 and dropped it, not realizing I've had this in my cupboard for almost 2 years now. It's got a few annotations, but other than that, I've barely used it. And I think the annotations are all in pencil. If you PM me, you can have it, provided you pay for postage. Not really a giveaway then, lol. It's like £2 for postage, just pay it. I mean, it's for someone else's benefit. I could easily just chuck it, but if someone actually wants it, then they can pay postage. You're just selling it at this point. Okay, don't ask for it then. How's it your problem, lol? If no one replies by tomorrow, I'll chuck it. I don't see what the problem is for me asking for the person who wants it to pay for postage. It's a lot cheaper than buying a new or second-hand copy online, and I'm not going to pay for it if I could just throw it away. You called it a giveaway. Post it on eBay instead. That's where you sell things. Okay, have a nice evening. This has been John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos, then now's the time to hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.